We're gonna start kind of towards the back of our mat in a wider kneed child's pose. Usually that's a little more comfortable. And then folding in here. And I like to stack my hands and widen the elbows out as well. And make sure that you relax around the base of the neck. And then to set a little theme for today's class is what would your future self in 5 years turn around and say to you today, right? That this is how you should, like something you should do today, a way you should act today that will set yourself up for how you want to be in 5 years. So, what's something that you could do today in this moment, setting yourself up for your future self? Inhale. Take your time with a long, slow exhale, maybe letting the rib cage settle down a little deeper. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing the hips heavier back towards the heels. One more. Inhale. Exhale. You'll keep your knees wide as you lift up into tabletop. And then you're going to push your hips all the way over to the right. Circle the hips back towards the back right corner. Shift them over to the left and lift back up into tabletop. Good. At the top, inhale. And then go in the opposite direction. Push the hips over to the left. Sweep around over to the right and back up. Inhale at the top. Over to the right. Sweep through center. Yeah, nice slow steady pace to begin. And one more time. Out and around. Good. Now bring your knees directly underneath your hips. So morning flare. Turn your fingertips out open wide. And then rotate your fingertips all the way back. Completely flipping your palms. Soft bend to your elbows. And then kind of same thing here. Begin to draw some circles. Same idea, like shift your hips back and over to the right, over to the left. Feel the transfer of the weight towards the pads of your fingertips. And then pick a direction and go 3 full circles. So I'm going to like stay to the right, all the way around, and then change in 3 circles, opposite direction. Good, and then when you land at the midline, that micro bend to your elbows so that they're not locked. And then literally, like right down the midline, tucking toes, inhale, pull forward into cow, dropping the belly into chest, exhale round. And if you want to rock your hips back a little bit, intensifying the stretch into the forearms. Tuck toes, push forward, inhale, put a little more focus on dragging the shoulders away from your ears. And then spread your shoulder blades and rock back. One more. Inhaling forward. And dropping it all the way back here. Good. Come back through center. Rotate the hands, widen out through the pads of your fingertips. Tucking toes, inhale, cow. And hip lift, up and back, downward facing dog. So I'm going to have everybody take their feet just as wide as their mat. So take your feet nice and wide, like get the hamstrings more out of the way. Allow yourself to be able to really focus on then the rotation of your sitting bones up. Nice, super, yep, and then really exactly that. Dropping of the rib cage through to open up your chest, armpit connection. Inhale. And then exhale. Step your right foot outside edge of your right hand for that wider lizard lunge. Okay, you're going to put your back left knee down, come up onto fingertips. And as you drop your hips low, lift the chest, think kind of like an up dog. And then pull the hips back as you straighten the front right leg. And then walk your hands forward like a puppy dog pose. Yep, and we're just going to kind of touch these each lightly. Start to bend your right knee, walk your hands back, plunge deep into the hips. Inhale, open. Hips draw back, flexing through your right foot, walk and extend the arms forward. Kind of pull length from your right hip crease and out through that right hand. And one more, hands walk back, plant them underneath your shoulders. Inhale forward, still staying connected to those back left toes. Pull it back and bow in here. Stay for the breath. Inhale. Exhale, just really taking care of yourself in this moment, and hands walk back underneath your shoulders. Tabletop position. Good. Toes up. Good morning, Maria. Inhale, cow pose. And downward facing dog. Yep, again. Widen your feet, spinning your heels slightly more open. Seeing if you can really turn your inner knees, your inner thighs, rolling them up towards the ceiling. And then give yourself that space to do that extra little press of the rib cage, pressing towards your thighs, sinking into the armpit chest connection. And then left foot steps outside edge of left hand, wide lizard lunge, back knee down. Take your time. So I'm just gonna, since I don't, if you don't have blocks, if you can be on fingertips, inhale, chest up. Exhale, draw back. Reposition your hands, extending forward, long through your spine here. And then push from right toes, plunge deep into the hips. Inhale, open. All the way up through the front of the spine, even like the front of the heart, the front of the throat. Exhale, lift back. Bow in. See if you can keep widening your shoulder blades, rolling the shoulders away from your ears. And one more time. Inhale forward. And hips lift up and back. Bow in. And then hold. Inhale. Exhale. Hands walk back underneath your shoulders. Fold that left leg in, tabletop position. Inhale, full cow. And downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana from here. Step your right foot now inside edge of your right hand, long, low lunge. And then left foot steps forward, feet are hip width distance apart. Hands to shins, get your breath, inhale to lengthen, even staying long through the back of the neck. And then exhale, fold in. Step your right foot back, long, low lunge, starting to widen out through your thigh bones. Plant palms, press back, downward facing dog. Kind of dialing into those small little habits that we start building now. Paying a lot of attention to your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot steps forward in between the hands. Left foot inside edge of that left hand. And then right foot steps forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left foot step back. Put the awareness in the core of your pelvis, stretching out through both knees, long through the spine. And step back, downward facing dog. Starting to load your shoulders more. Inhale, shift forward into plank pose. And I've been paying a lot of attention lately, you guys, to my neck, making sure that you're really lengthening through the back of the neck, all four sides, and then push your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Press through the heads of your femur bones back to load into the legs more. Right foot steps forward, lunge. Left foot steps forward. Top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Stretching through like the tops of your ears. Exhale, fold in. Right foot step back lunge. Try to find a kind of clean, crisp line from that back right heel through the crown of the head. Plant palms, press back, downward facing dog. Try not to let your heels collapse in. Keep that inner spiral of your leg. Inhale forward into plank. And as you shift the weight, you should kind of feel your core engage. Press the thigh bones back, downward facing dog. Left foot step forward, lunge. Yep, right foot steps forward. Feel grounded and planted through both feet. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Good. Left foot steps back. So just kind of clearing out the cobwebs if it's been a second since you practiced. And then step back, downward facing dog. Last little round of your warm up here. Inhale forward into plank. We're going to keep that long line of plank as you bend your elbows, pulling your shoulder blades together, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to press back, downward facing dog. More stretch to the backs of your legs now. Inhale, lift, right leg, three-legged down dog. Right foot step forward. Land it gently with control. Good, nice steady pace here today, you guys. Left foot step forward, solid into the feet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Right foot step deeply back lunge. Maybe it starts to get a little bit longer as you open. Step back, downward facing dog. Balance the weight between the four corners, both hands, both feet. Inhale, forward into plank. Good. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together as you lower straight down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Stretch your left leg, lift it up and back, three-legged down dog. The challenge is right to keep that internal spiral of that left leg, sending your inner left thigh up, rolling your outer left hip down, and still pulling your right hip back. Step your left foot forward, lunge. Right foot steps forward, feet hip width distance. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back, lengthen through the front of the body, through the front of that left hip, through the abdominal, stretch out through the heart, and step back, downward facing dog. Good. Knees to the mat, point your toes, wide knees, press all the way back into your wide kneed child pose. Okay, taking these little pauses, reconnect. Ask yourself that question, like, what literally do I need to do today to set myself up, right, for how I want to be in the future in 5 years? It can be something small. It can be even just, okay, I said I was going to get back on my yoga mat because I want to be doing that in 5 years. Inhale. Exhale. Meet in downward facing dog. Focus on the rib cage dropping through. Step forward to the top of your mat. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And then right from here, we're going to take 3 traditional Surya Namaskar A. So stretch the arms out wide. Inhale, lift all the way to rise. And then exhale, fold right in here, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen half flat. Step back, top of your push-up plank pose. So see if you can start noticing which foot you always step back with, because you can start to change it up. And then your choice, either straight down to the belly or through the yoga push-up chaturanga. Now more into your up dog or cobra, as long as you're evenly distributing that curve through your spine. Step back, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. So a lot of today's class, I just want you to start to feel like really grounded into your body. Right? If we haven't practiced in a while, we can kind of feel really like separated, a little too much time in the mind, in our like emotional body, back into the physical body. Inhale. Exhale. Start to pay attention to what, but you always step forward first with. See if you can start to change it up. Step forward, top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deep fold in. That we want the big hinge. Make more length for your spine. And then reach the arms out around and up. Flat back. Lift to rise. Inhale, a little bit taller. Exhale, fold in, pushing your hips back as you dive out over the leg. Use your whole breath. Inhale, lengthen. If you can remember, so to switch up the feet as you step back, top of your push-up plank pose. Elbows are going to come down along your side body as you press down, either into your Bhujangasana, your cobra, or your up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Full long exhale. Again, in. X, practicing a little bit of steadiness and stillness here. One more, right? So when I can hold the pose, I can really feel, right, where it still feels stiff, where the energy isn't flowing. See if you can change up your legs to step forward, top of your mat. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Okay. Plug down. Reach your arms out wide. Think that you're getting big through the back body as you lift up. Inhale. And then exhale, fold in. Uttanasana. Rock the weight towards your toes. Bigger stretch to the backs of your legs. Inhale to lengthen. Half flat back. Step back. Top of your push-up plank pose. Okay, yep. Push the floor as you lower slow. See if you can do it with breath. Inhale, Bhujangasana or upward facing dog. Roll over toes, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so it's from here that we're going to do these kind of like builds now. We should be just like a little bit warmer. Right leg lift, three-legged down dog. Step your right foot forward and now lift all the way to rise. High lunge. Travel your awareness up the legs. Start at the feet, into the ankles. Remember your shin bones turn in, your upper thigh bones turn in. As you slightly press your tailbone forward, it's okay to be up a little bit higher. If that allows you to start to squeeze your left butt muscle to lengthen up and out. Inhale. Exhale. Now plant both hands inside edge of that front right foot for a lizard lunge. Yep, so you're inside now. Here you guys are hugging that right knee deeply in against your right shoulder, squeezing your right hip in. Then you wiggle your left foot back even more. Yep, open up into the thighs. Zubair, take your right hand on the inside edge of your right knee. Make it more of a lizard lunge. Good. And then for your last few breaths, if you want to come down onto your elbows and deepen it here. Okay, if I was there, I would loop a strap over the top of your left thigh, and I would pull it towards the ceiling, up towards the sky, so we're not sinking into the hips, but you're still pulling the center of your chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, walk up onto your hands as you step back, downward facing dog. Yep, so right there, get grounded and balanced. Inhale. Exhale, chain side, left leg lift, three-legged down dog. Step forward lunge. Before you lift to rise, make sure you move from your hips, not from your low back, to lift to rise. Okay, so that was something you guys, I was really focusing all summer. Like a lot of times we move from those like lumbar vertebra to lift up and we feel compression in the low back. Think that you actually bring your hips more and more to neutral And then from neutral, lift up and extend. We can usually feel if we're doing it correctly if we can squeeze that back right butt muscle a little. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down, inside edge of that front left foot. Yep. Take your time. We're going to be here for a couple breaths. Squeeze the left knee in. See if that helps you to push your hips a little to the right. That's also been a big cue that I've been working on. So you're going to press that outer right hip to the right. Maybe your right foot wiggles back more. And then drop down onto your elbows. A good cue. Instead of letting the hips just sink, imagine a strap over the top of your right femur bone, lifting it up towards the ceiling, higher in the hips, as you then try to pull your chest forward. Inhale. Exhale. Hands walk back underneath your shoulders to press back, downward facing dog. Okay, so after we do kind of right side left, then we're going to neutralize it out with the vinyasa, but wait for it. Make sure you have your breath. Inhale forward into plank pose. Okay, so kind of like move the energy that you unlock. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Still feeling the tops of the feet and the palms of the hands to press back. Downward facing dog. Okay, so onto that we inhale, right leg lift. Yep. Three-legged down dog. Step your right foot forward, lunge. Plug down, inhale, lift all the way up, high lunge. And so you'll just kind of stay in that pose until you feel that you've kind of got like a maximum expression here. Maybe the feet continue to widen, lifting through that back heel. You could even imagine a strap over the front of the left femur bone, pulling it back, a strap over the top of the right femur bone, pulling it down so you sink in deeper. Good. Hands on the inside edge of the front right foot. Yep, and as I get warmer, I can move that left foot back more. Widen your stance. Drop down onto your elbows, lizard lunge. Okay, so could you still press from your right knee into your right foot? Keep a lot of strength in your legs. Inhale. Exhale, hands walk back up underneath your shoulders. Okay, new pose, aim through pose. You turn your right foot open, then to the pinky edge side of your left foot. And your right arm circles around as you drop your left hip towards the floor and look back towards your right thumb. So you should feel the stretch in the outside edge of the hip, balancing there, squeezing your inner thighs together. And if you really want to roll more to the pinky edge side of your right foot, might stretch your outer right hip and then pull that back and around. Lizard lunge. Out over your right leg, that's your front leg. Skandasana, bending into that front right knee. Yep, turning your left leg open. And if you have a block, you could sit on a block, or you could stretch your arms away in a counterbalance. Inhale. Yep, Skandasana here, Julie. We're on our right foot, right knee's open. Yeah, so like a wider stance. And that's what's cool about this is as you repeat it, you'll get it. And then everybody turn forward to the top of your mat, downward facing dog. So I'm kind of like setting a flow. Inhale, left leg lift. Left foot steps forward, lunge. Push down, lift to rise, high lunge. Everything to move the bone. Wrap around the top of your right thigh, pulling it backwards. Tailbone works against that to press the pubic bone forward. And then a strap over the top of your left leg, pulling it down towards the floor to bend you deeper into that left knee. Yeah, working towards 90. Hands on the inside of the front left leg, lizard lunge. Yep, if you want to move that right foot back, keep lengthening it. You can drop your rib cage down as you come onto your elbow. One breath here. Keep pushing your hips to the right. Widen the thigh bones apart. Inhale. Exhale, up onto your hands. Turn your left foot open. Into the pinky edge side of your right foot. And then that left arm circles around as you dip that right hip down. Exactly. Yep. I try to stay really straight and strong through my right leg. Back up and around, lizard lunge. And then as we turn towards the right side of the mat, left heel stays grounded. Skandasana, right toes turn up towards the ceiling. Split the inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale, pivot back to the top of your mat to step back. Downward facing dog. Okay, so at the beginning of class, we try to kind of like warm up the forearms and wrists. Make sure you're keeping the weight in the root knuckles of your fingers, pressing into the pads of your fingertips here. See if that allows you to bring strength all the way up the arms into the shoulders. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, bend elbows, you choose. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. If you feel space opening, try to move into it every time you have an opportunity to maybe go a little bit deeper. Take your right leg up, three-legged down dog. Try to keep that internal spiral in your right leg as you simultaneously pull your left hip back, stay long through the left side body. Step your right foot forward lunge. Inhale, lift to rise, high lunge. Okay, so using this kind of idea of these like drops to help you deepen the pose. So when you keep trying to work that right knee deeper and deeper towards 90 degrees, you may have to open up your base. Hands on the inside edge of your front right foot. Pause in your lizard lunge. Inhale. Exhale, drop down into your elbow. Yep, you're going to use your core, your obliques, the strength of your inner right leg as you squeeze right knee against right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, walk up onto your hands. Turn your right foot open. Into the pinky edge side of your left foot. You're going to keep that left leg straight as you dip your left hip back or your left hip down and circle that right arm back. Kind of sink into it. Inhale. Exhale. Hand spin around. Lizard lunge. Pause. Over your right leg. So I turn my right foot in 45 degrees and spin to the Skandasana. Yeah. Use your upper body as a counterbalance. Now, over your back left leg. Skandasana. Stay low. Okay. And then we're going to go back over our left leg. And then you're going to press up into spread eagle pose. So that left leg is going to lift up and out. Your arms are going to widen. Good. It kind of looks like a warrior three with the leg out to the side. Excellent. Spine is parallel to the floor. And as you set that left leg down, pivot, turn, top of your mat, low line. So it's step back, downward facing dog. Okay, don't worry, it'll smooth out. Next up, inhale, left leg lift. Maybe lift it up a little bit higher. Step forward, lunge. Use your exhale because that's your core. Pulling it forward. Inhale up, high lunge. The more I think about my left sitting bone, pulling forward towards my inner left knee, my left hamstring will engage. It'll support the leg more, and then you can open up. Inhale. Exhale, hands on the inside edge of your front left foot. Wait for it, lengthen it out, and then drop down onto your elbows. So it's not necessarily going to get like this easy, right? But you might feel space opening up here. Inhale. Exhale, hands walk back underneath your shoulders. Left foot turns out. Roll to the pinky edge side of your right foot, still squeezing your inner thighs, aim through pose. Maybe pressing that left knee open wide. Good. Come back up through center, lizard lunge. Yep, take your reset, feel stable, and then, so there's no hurry, and then go into Skandasana. Okay, so it doesn't have to be just one breath, one movement here today, guys. Make sure you set your foundation and then push into your left foot to shift to the back of your mat over your right leg. Skandasana. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to push off that back right foot and lift up into your spread eagle pose here. You should feel your outer right hip working. Spread your arms. How much can you hip hinge here? Super big strength there for your left hamstring. For 3, 2, keep trying to pull the center of your chest forward. 1, and then as you set your right foot down, turn towards the top of your mat. Good job, you guys. Low lunge, all the way back. Downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. Clear it out between sides. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hips lift, up and back. Downward facing dog. Okay, so kind of more than halfway done with that. So that's going to be our base, and we've got 2 more full rounds as we add 2 more poses on. Inhale, right leg lift. If it starts to feel like you want to bend the right knee and open the hip, if that's where you need more opening today, if that feels like it's in your flow, go ahead and do that. And then step your right foot forward, lunge. Good. Plug down, lift your eyes. Keep internally spiraling those thighs. Keep trying to refine. Okay, so use your standing poses, you guys, as the hip opener. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, inside edge of your front right foot. Pause, lengthen, set foundation. Inhale. Exhale, sink in. When you come down to your elbow, keep thinking that you're pushing your hips to the left. That's going to firm that right hip in. Inhale. Exhale, up onto your hands. Aim through pose. Right foot turns open. Pinky edge side of your left foot. Sweep the hand back. Feel free to sink as much as you want to into that left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, back up and around, low lizard lunge. From here, reset the feet, Skandasana, out over your front right leg. Good. The trick is to always push your hips back and back and back and back and back and back and back. And then, yeah, you are good. Exactly. When you push your hips back, that heel drop. And then over the back of your left leg. Good. Big push to the inner thighs. Inhale. Push hips back, push hips back. So I do that by driving through my left heel and almost imagining like I'm pushing the mat away from me with my left heel. Yeah. Good. Spread ready for it. And then shift into your front right leg. Spread eagle pose. Catch your balance. Great, you guys. Can we get that left foot as high as the left hip and in line with it? Okay, we're going to come down into Skandasana out over your right leg. Skandasana over that right knee. Perfect. Set your hips all the way down. Tap left knee in, bringing it close to your right knee. Interlace your hands behind your hip. See variation. Creating Eka Mukha Pada Paschimottanasana. Use the arm bones back to lengthen through the front of the spine. And then turn the soles over your front left leg. Shoulders draw back. Inhale. Exhale. Lift back up through center. Right knee swings open as you pivot to the top of your mat. Low lunge. Step back. Downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale. Left leg lift. If it feels like more flow for you, you could bend your left knee. Roll the hip open. Left foot steps forward, lunge. Hug down, lift to rise. High lunge. Okay, so we've only got like a few more of these left. If you want to try to get into like that full variation of pose, if you challenge yourself to really go to the full 90-degree bend in your front leg, and then release the hands down, lizard lunge. Inhale. Exhale, drop to your elbows. Swing over to the right. So the center of your hips, the center of your heart, and the center of the top of your head are all in one straight line. Inhale. Exhale, come up onto your hands. Same true pose. Spin. Right heel down. Good, nice. Sink into that right shoulder. Stretch the outer right hip. Arm comes up and around. Lizard lunge. Inhale. Skandasana out over left leg first. Remember, push the hips back. Drive through left heel. Almost like you're going to lift your hips up away from the floor. Use leg power and transfer over your back right leg. Okay, so it's the same feeling of as you're pressing to stand, it might help you to actually hold the pose. And then as you push off your right leg, transfer. See if you can catch it into your spread eagle pose. Notice you guys, if that right leg wants to swing backwards, try to pull the right foot up in line with your right hip. So it's purely lateral. 3, 2, 1. Skandasana over your left leg. Okay, this is hip mobility work as you set your hips down. Tap that inner left knee next to your right knee. Good. Interlace the hands behind your hip. Inhale, roll the shoulder blades back and down. Take it as a back bend, an upper chest opener. Inhale. And then exhale. Fold out over your front leg. Yeah, there's a reason why this is a pose. Triang Ekka Mukha Pada Paschimottanasana. There's a reason why we don't do it very often. It's pretty awkward. Pretty hard to fold in here. Lift back up to center. Open that left knee. Shift your weight. Skandasana as you plant your palm. Downward facing dog. You're down to your last 2 vinyasas. Strong leg. Inhale forward into plank. Clear that out. Exhale, bend elbows. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Fold the shoulder blades onto your upper back. Downward facing dog. So last time for the transition. Inhale, right leg lift. Bend right knee. If you want to roll that right hip open, your body, clear it out. You kind of can still feel where you're holding tension. Right foot step forward lunge. Sink in deep. Lift to rise. High lunge. Okay. Lift the spine up out of the hip. Stretch to the side ribs. Inhale. Exhale, hand plant, lizard lunge. Hold. Stretch your feet more open. Yep, some of you can sink even lower, let that right sitting bone in line with the right knee. Lower your elbows down. And this is actually called Kristasana, lizard lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Back up onto your hands. Turn the right foot open, pinky inside of your left foot, sink in. Aim true. Lizard lunge, back and around. Plant the hands. Inhale. Exhale. Skandasana out over right leg. Thumb back, thumb back. Yeah. There you go. Inhale. Exhale. Transfer to the back of your mat. Good. Now try to catch the balance. Push off that back leg. Spread eagle. Bear, be on spread eagle on your right leg. Yep, towards the top of your mat. That's fine. Everybody, one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Set it down slowly. Skandasana out over your right leg. Yep, you got it all the way to seated. Juliet over your right leg. That's fine. Tap that right knee down. You can fold that right foot in more. Interlace your fingers. You have time to do the setup. We're not in a rush. Right toes point all the way back. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Okay, and then this is the last pose of your flow. Lift back up. Plant your right hand at the top of your mat. And then as you lift your hip, swing that right shin bone in and come into your wild thing on your right knee, on your right shin bone. Yep, Julie, exactly. There you go. Yep, there you go, Maria. Bend the elbow if you want. Cup the head. Inhale. Exhale, hand to the mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. Okay, so I lead us through it on the left side. Then we're going to take a break, and then you're going to see if you can do it, right, all on your own, both sides. So it's just a good way, like even if you don't do it perfectly, it's just a good way because it keeps you really focused. Like you can't be thinking about other things when we try to build these flows. Left leg lift, three-legged down dog. Keeps me really present. Yep. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot steps forward. Lunge. Plug down. Work the hips. This is actually a hip opening class here. Strengthening, work the mobility, sink in deeper. I'm deep. I keep stretching my mouth wider and longer, open. Hands down, lizard lunge. I move my right foot back until my left hip is in line with my left knee. Drop to the elbow. So you drop your rib cage. Inhale. Exhale, up onto your hands. Turn the feet to the left. In true pose. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Back up and around. Replant lizard lunge. And then Skandasana, left leg. So it goes left leg, over the back leg, right leg. And then as you push off that back right leg, spread eagle. You're now on your left leg, Skandasana. Hips all the way down. Tap your inner left knee. If you want to fold that left foot in more closely, good. Yep. Interlace the hands behind your hips. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold. Your core probably is trying to like harden out. Pull it back in and up. And then inhale back up to center. Release your hand. Left hand plants at the top of your mat. And as you lift your hip, you pivot into your wild thing. So you're on that left knee. Right leg is straight. Inhale. Exhale, you can bend the elbow, make it more of an upper back bend. And then release the hand to step back. Downward facing dog. Final vinyasa together. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Knees to the mat, big toes touch, wide knees, child pose. Because I really actually used to hate this when teachers would do this to me. But it's a good like focusing exercise. And it's also a good reminder that it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just kind of like a structure for you if you feel like you need to stay for a breath or add something on or skip something. It's more about tuning in, kind of listening to your body. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Downward facing dog. All right. And then you're going to try to go through it on your own. I'll just do a little kind of call out to the name of the pose. And if you get off track, that's fine. Three-legged down dog, right leg lift. On your own. High lunge. Lizard lunge on the palms. Waiting for the breath all the way down. Kristasana. Making your way back up. Aim true pose. Getting the outer hip. Good. Back around, reset. The whole thing today is hip mobility. Over the right leg, skanda. Left leg. Spread eagle. Over your right leg. Skanda to seated. Treeing Eka Mukha. Folding that right knee in. Top of your right foot. Get the shoulder opening. Inhale. Fold in. And you inhale, breath to rise. And then we unfold. Right hand at the top of the mat. Sweep your hips up. And take a back bend here. Good, Maria. Yep. Exactly, Julie. Inhale. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Okay, so what also can be interesting, you guys, is to notice what emotions or feelings come up in your body, like when you get confused. Right? When I get a little bit frustrated, I feel kind of like a heat come up. Okay, and just see if we can kind of like learn to take a deep breath, let that pass. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, left side. Making your way into your high lunge. Into lizard lunge. Into Kristasana, down on elbows. And then into nice big sweeping aim true pose. Pretty hard to get into that like outer right hip. Inhale. Exhale, back up and around. Reset your lizard lunge and do your Skandasana flow. Okay, once you've got your balance, we set down slowly into Skanda over the left leg, and then hip mobility into Triang Eka. Left foot folds in. See variation in your arms. Inhale. Oh, we got hot, right? See there? Inhale. And exhale. Fold. Belly button back in and up. Lift back up to center. And then you'll finish with your version of that wild thing back bend. Pushing your hips to the right. Lifting the heart. Squeezing shoulder blades together. Add any arm variation. And downward facing dog. And then let's all regroup and move together. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take as many steps forward as you need to the top of your mat. Yep, see if that feels any different from the beginning of class. Inhale, lengthen, tone through the fronts of your legs. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Bend your knees as you drop your hips. Come all the way down to seated. And then as you roll onto your back, you guys are going to finish with shoulder stand. Okay? So if you don't want to do shoulder stand today, right, you could always just come into like a Supta Baddha Konasana. You could take the legs up. If you have blocks and you prefer blocks underneath your hips as your form of inversion today, or otherwise, with your hands planted, you take your legs up and over, interlace your fingers, see variation, and you keep walking your shoulders together until your neck is completely off the floor. Releasing the hands, holding your hips, and lifting your legs up. There you go, Julie. Yep. Into shoulder stand. So it's that same rotation of your upper leg bones. They're internally rotating. And your focus goes onto your big toes. As you steady your eyes. Stay here for long enough. Let it really have the feeling of the inversion. Inhale. Exhale. Toes lower down, overhead. Plant your hands. And then I like to bend my knees so that slowly you can control as you roll back down through your spine, letting your hips come to the mat. As soon as your hips touch the mat, throw your knees into your chest. Final pose. Keep your left knee drawn towards your chest. Extend your right leg forward. Heel is on the ground. And then come into a twist. So the only thing that you didn't have in your flow today was a twist. So rinse out the body. Yep. Try to roll all the way to the outside edge of that right hip. And this is a really hard cue to understand, you guys, but if this was like a lunge and your left foot was stepping forward and your right leg was the leg back behind you, I would tell you to push your hips to the right. So can you feel like you're pushing your right hip into the ground? And as you push it into the ground, does it make your legs more active? And then be able to rotate your rib cage more. I think I saw that shift for you, Claire, right? Inhale. Like we're not sinking into the twist, we're lifting into it. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center, draw both knees in towards your chest. Yep, so the knees can be wider. It's like that wide knee child's pose. And then keeping your right knee drawn in, extend your left leg to twist. Right leg comes across the body. Roll to the outside edge of your left hip. And think of all the actions you would do in a low lunge twist. Push your left hip down. You guys see when you push your left hip into the ground, your right hip goes forward and your right side body stays longer. Especially if you have low back pain, it'll keep your low back more stabilized and bring the twist into the upper back. Yeah, make it more of a thoracic twist than into your low back. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to the center, hugging both knees in towards your chest. Yeah, I like to put like my knees into my elbows, let them wide and open. If you want to kind of rock backwards from hip to hip, and then extending your arms and legs, opening up, Shavasana. Take your time wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe roll out your ankles, your wrists, rock out your neck. And as you stretch your arms up overhead, roll up to find seated. As you fold your hands in front of your heart center, you guys, it's actually proven these kind of like bookend days, right? Like these significant days, kind of like the end of the summer, the start of the school year, the start of fall, or the start of a new month. It's actually the most successful time if you're gonna like do something or set an intention. So if there is something that you want to do for your future self and start today, remember that intention and then take your thumb to your third eye as you bow forward to seal your practice. Jai, Siddhartha, Jai.